Hi amazing people, welcome to this platform. We love you, we love visitors, we love everybody. Yani in this place, we just love people. If you are a returning subscriber, my love to you and to your loved ones, okay? If it is your very first time to be here on this platform, karibu sana. We are all about motivation, personal growth and relationships. So if this is something that you're interested in, consider subscribing, liking, sharing and even commenting, my people. Karibuni sana. Today we are talking about motivation as always, but we are doing a series on 21 Mondays of motivation. So why did I choose 21 Mondays of motivation, if you ask? Okay, in psychology we talk about forming a habit after doing it consecutively for 21 days. So I decided, because you know what, I want you people to be motivated and to be goal oriented, because that is also something that we're doing and we're trying to grow, that we do this for 21 Mondays, okay? If you are with me today on the 20th, okay, of November, it means that by the time we are done with 21 Mondays, we will have transformed our lives, because we are doing this for more than 3 months, you guys, or 4. And I love the fact that I'll be in your space, in your faces, and we are walking this journey together, okay? The main reason I am doing this as well is because there are things in my life that I need to bring to to just make sure that they follow through. And the only way that I can be regular, I can be consistent, and I also want accountability, and you guys are my accountability partners, whether you know it or not, whether I know your name or not. Just because I have put this out here, it shows that I need people that we can actually be accountable to each other. So I am accountable to you, doing 21 Mondays of motivation, and it is very helpful and very instrumental for me, and I hope that it will transform your life as well, even as we dive and as we continue. That being said, karibu sana to this particular video, guys. So motivation is a reason as to why you are doing something. You are particularly directed or motivated to do something. It is a reason to act in a particular way because you want to make sure that there's a goal that you're meeting and that it is directed. It is directed behavior. So karibu sana. The components of motivation are activation, of course. We have persistence and intensity. So as much as you really need to get motivated, you have to activate that motivation because it is already within you. It's just that maybe you are in a state of numbness. You know what, I don't know where to begin. I want to do this, maybe I'm scared, you know. I am not very sure if I have what it takes to do this. And that is why we're actually doing this, and that is, you need to activate that motivation. It is not coming from anywhere outside you. What I am doing as Marion, what we are doing in 21 Mondays of motivation is making sure that you activate the motivation and the capabilities that you have inside of you, so that you can be able to accomplish these goals that we are going to set for ourselves. The other thing is persistence. The only way that motivation works, and for you to actually achieve that particular goal that you will set for yourself in a short while, is if you continue persisting and continuing. I have to compliment everyone. Thank you, by the way, for the 477 subscribers. Thank you for each and every one of you. But the main reason I have noticed that there has been a growth, because I had stagnated in the 300 and something. It's because I was posting once and then I'm taking my time and I'm doing other things, and then I come back after some 2 months or something, and I am really trying to be consistent. So the more I'm persisting on posting and making sure that I have content, I have noticed that we have had a growth over 170 something subscribers from the time I became persistent. I am still sijafika bado. I don't have that kick, because already I have said, you know what, I need to be posting on Mondays and Fridays and all that. But for the last 2 weeks before I even post this, it means I have not posted. For me to make sure that I achieve my goal, I need to make sure that I'm also persistent. The other thing is also the intensity that you do this thing that you are planning to do. It's more or less the persistence, but of course the oomph that you're putting and the effort and the hard work that you're putting in that work that you're doing. So motivation is divided into 2 main types of motivation. intrinsic motivation, which is the internal motivation. And this is people that do something because they love doing it. You don't want to be rewarded for it. There are people who are watching me, you just love reading books, but the love for the book is more satisfying than the reward you get if you read the books and become, or a particular subject, and become good at it, and you get rewarded. So you are motivated to actually read because you love it. Okay, it is an internal kind of achieving. You are achieving purpose. For the other kind of motivation is extrinsic. This is the external kind of motivation, where you're doing things because of the reward that comes with the success that you of that thing. For example, I have talked about someone who is reading because they just love reading. Okay, so on this other end, if it is an instinctive in extrinsic kind of motivation, they are reading because they want the reward that comes with being number one, because of course in our schools we have the reward system, so the reward motivates them to do something. The reward for someone who decides to actually go to the gym, it's not because they want to have fun, because of course exercise is painful in the beginning and it is a lot of sacrifice and all these things, but you're doing it because you want to get fit. So the reward gives you the motivation to do it. Even if you don't want to do it, you do it because of the reward. So there are those two kinds of motivation, intrinsic and extrinsic, outside and internal and external. But we also have other kinds of motivation. I'll just mention them, I'll just go through them just to familiarize us with them, but I won't really go deep into them because of course I want us to hit the road running. Okay, we have achievement motivation, where you are motivated by the achievements that you get. Okay, so someone like, for example, you're setting financial goals and diligently sticking to them because you want to save money. So the achievement of, I have set a goal for myself and this is the amount of money I want to achieve maybe by the time I'm 40, and you stick to that goal so that you can achieve that. You also that is achievement motivation. So the drive comes from the feeling that you have achieved something because of the rush you get when you get to that place that you have set for yourself. Power motivation are people who are driven by the desire to influence other people. So for example, you'll find someone running for politics because they just love the authority that comes with those seats, and not really because they want to make a change. No, they are motivated to enter into politics because they love the seats. You find someone buying a big car not because that they love the car or anything. It is because of the power that they feel, because people will perceive them as powerful, as rich, as wealthy, and all that. So they buy those cars because of that reason. You find someone looking for promotion in the workplace, not because they really want the promotion per se, but it is because they want the corner office and they want now to be an employee so that they can employ people and also fire people. Like, they just love being in control or something. There's fear-based motivation. This is the psychological fight or flight response that kicks in when we are in danger. Of course, we know that sazile kuna noma, there are people that decide, I'm running away. But there are people in times of danger, they arise and they are busy. Also, we have those ones that freeze, and it is there, but it is not really talked about sana. We ignore it. We also have avoidance motivation, where you are driven to stay away from negative and unpleasant situations, experiences, and outcomes. So for example, you're the type that will not go for a family function because you just don't like interacting with crazy relatives, because all of us have those crazy relatives. So you don't want to interact with them, so you're like, I'm not going to that function because of that crazy uncle or that crazy auntie that I will meet. Okay, you're also the kind of people that will avoid social events because you have social anxiety, so you don't want the awkwardness of just having those experiences, so you're deciding, let it be. Okay, we have the competence motivation. It is the innate desire to feel competent, so you're doing it because it feels good. You want to feel good at something. So it is more about personal growth and improvement. We have the curiosity motivation, where you are always curious to fix things, to visit new places. So these are the kind of people that actually do that, and they read books all the time. They just want to know things, so they are curious. Okay, altruistic Motivation is the desire to help people. So you are the ones that are in the charities. That is the kind of thing that you do. You're motivated, you know, and such and such. We have growth motivation, where you have the desire to achieve personal development and self-improvement. For example, you're going to the gym to keep fit. You're reading books to just learn something, and whatever you learn, you implement in your life so that you can better yourself, even if it is 1% a day. We have purpose motivation, where you are driven to find meaning and direction to your life. So for example, such people are the kind of people that when now I am starting a company, my goal is not to get money. It is to, I'm thinking from a point of, you know, when I have a company, I will employ hundreds of people, and maybe that company, even after I am dead, you know, the legacy will live on. So you're doing it because of that. You want to leave a legacy. Okay, so that is purpose motivation. You're building wealth for your children so that you can leave inheritance for your children's children. Okay, we have the status motivation, where the desire to be loved and respected in the community, that is what drives you to do things and to be motivated. So you will find someone in this category, they want to buy clothes, not because the clothes are nice or they're looking beautiful, but because of the brand the cloth comes with. So you want to have the Louis Vuitton, not the fake one, the real one, even if it looks bad, because of the brand name and how it makes you feel. Okay, we have maybe young people from the age of 21 thereabout, and early and in our youths, we want to get into debt because we want to have the lavish houses, the good cars, because we want to attract the opposite sex. For men, they want all these nice girls, to see them driving the Mercedes Benz and all, because you know what, you look good and that. So the status actually causes you to be motivated to do things. We have autonomy motivation, where people have strong urge to be in a complete control of their lives. So these people are not doing things because they have the reward that comes with it. They just want to be in control. You will find someone who is 18 and they are deciding to leave their parents' house because they want to go and live alone and learn and just take charge of their own lives. And it's not because they have been chased away from home, they just want to stay away. We have sensation seeking motivation, and this one is more or less arousal. So jumping out of a plane for the thrill of it. So you're motivated to do things because of the thrill that you get from the activities that you're doing. You go to parties, you want to dance because of course of that, letting your body loose and you know what, enjoying yourself. So these ones are, the arousal is the one that gives them the motivation to do things. Okay, we have conservation motivation, where the drive is to preserve something like wealth, culture, status and environment. We know a very good example of someone like Wangari Maathai, who would do anything for the environment and planting trees, the late Wangari Maathai. And you just are motivated to preserve nature, to preserve history. You want to be the ones who is taking care of the museums, the artifacts that people found, you know, the people from old were using and all that. So we have also revenge motivation. Of course, we all know what revenge means. You want to get back at someone who has offended you. So of course that makes you feel like, you know what, I need to revenge. So that motivates you to do things. We also have others that are under the category of Maslow hierarchy of needs. For those that don't know, in psychology we have someone who was called Maslow, and he created a hierarchy of needs. From there were 5 of them. We had the psychological, where we just focus on making sure that we have the basic needs of shelter, food, clothing, water, you know, and living in a habitable environment. And examples in this, you find that just to show you how people are motivated, when you go to a desert and there is no water, and then finally you find water, as much as that water is dirty, you will not think at, oh, I will not take water because it is dirty. The first thing you see is water and you're thirsty. You are like, you know what, I have to drink that water. Consequences later, the first thing your mind tells you is just go take water, drink, you know. It's like the same thing when you have maybe targets, and maybe you have not met your targets. For example, you're a student, you have not accomplished your homework, you have not finished your homework, and you are just so sleepy. and you're trying and you're trying and you write and you write, and then you get to some place and then you're like, you know what, I am tired, I will sleep. Either if you are in a place where you can go and tell your lecturer or something, or your teacher, that you will hand over the assignment late, and for some of you, you will just go and be beaten and you're like, you know what, it is okay. But that night, you know what, you knew that there would be trouble the next day, but because the sleep was too much, you couldn't even focus, you couldn't even write. Maybe you tried, or you slept in the process of even doing the homework or something. So you see, because sleep is very important. So these 5 like basic needs, they are very important, and that is what we are talking about. They motivate you to do something, to be something, and all that. After you have accomplished those ones, then we have the security motivation. Once all the psychological needs are met, then security and safety checks in. Now you want to get a job because you know what, I don't want to lack rent. You know, it is taking us back to just having the basics. Yes, I can sleep, but where will I sleep? So of course now we enter into the security. Okay, now that I am actually having money, am I in a house that can preserve maybe the money that I am bringing in, the things that I am accumulating? Is my padlock working? Is the area I am living safe? So now you start thinking in that direction. Belonging, motivation, or affiliation. So this one is more or less the desire to build and maintain strong social connections. You know, when you have already met your basic needs, and then there is security in the basics need, then now you want to socially, you interact with people, because that is how human beings are. So that is also where we are talking about just maintaining social connections. And we can talk about these ones where we are talking about people just organizing social events because they want to bring people together, they want cultures to interact, they want to bring different people, different cultures and all that, just to bring that interaction. You're joining a sport or something, or a club, because you want to be together with people who you are like-minded. Unajua mnataka mkae pamoja. If I love the environment, for example, and I love preserving the environment, I will tend to join clubs that are dealing with conservation of the environment, because I want people who think like me. I want to, I hope I am making sense. If I love giving to charity, you know, that is the place where now I'm talking about, you know what, I need to join a charitable organization, because you know, these people are like-minded. We will think alike, we will flow. So when they are doing activities that will help the community, I am also benefiting in the process. So of course, so you're joining clubs, organizations, because you want to hang around people who are like-minded like you. But there's something that is called de-individualization, where setting aside your own personal ethics in order to be part of an in-group. So we have de-individualization, and this is basically people who put away or do away with their own personal ethics because they want to stay relevant in an in-group. And this is the flip side of belonging motivation. So because you desire so much to belong to that group, you do away with your own personal ethics because you want to stay in that particular group, because at the time it is the in group, it is the relevant group, and that is what we call de-individualization. So even as you are motivated to belong, please be careful that you do not lose who you are in the process. The other kind of motivation is esteem motivation. So we have higher esteem levels which need to be that are connected more with the intrinsic motivation, and the lower levels of esteem need to be connected with the extrinsic motivation. I won't go deep to that, but basically esteem motivation talks about self-esteem, the high and the low self-esteem. We also have actualization motivation, and according to Maslow, a lot of people do not actually actualize because they are either stagnant or very stuck with mostly psychological and safety motivation. We naturally revolve around there and belonging. So a few people actually get to esteem, and at that time you're too mature, you die. Very few people actualize. So actualization is the desire and the drive to work towards big dreams and passions. And this one sana is like making major decisions. For example, for a person who decides, you know what, I'm raising my family because I need them happy, instead of just making sure that I just meet the need, is that everyone in the family is happy and is contented. So a lot of people do not get to actualization because very few people also get to that 70 years and all all that. And maybe by the time you get to that age, you are too focused on just making sure that you meet the needs of your family, that you're too exhausted. There's nothing you can think about other than just making sure that your family is healthy and strong. So factors, there are so many things. We have talked about a lot of things in motivation, and this is why I was telling you guys about all these kinds of motivation, because in one way or the other we all experience a particular type of motivation. If you look at your life vizuri sana, from the examples that I have given, you have a few of them, but all we have to know is that we have major types of motivation, which are two: extrinsic and intrinsic. So hizi zingine zote, they just fall under extrinsic and intrinsic, so the internal and the external, and those ones are the main types of motivation. These other ones are just part and parcel of the two major types of motivation. So the main reason I was giving you a preview of what kind of motivations there are and what is motivation is because I need us to start the journey together. So today was just an introduction into motivation, so I hope you have learned something. In the meantime, I want you to look at your life, because this is now me finishing up. Look at your life. What are the areas that you think you need to work on? What are the things you think you need to improve? What are some of the things that you think you need to work on? Because those are some of the things that I need us to get into and to write down. Be thinking about them. I think in the next next Monday we will write them down. We will have goals. We will just have a goal-oriented kind of a plan that we will follow through, so that we can make sure that by the time we are done with the 21 Mondays of motivation, that you will not remain the same again, that you will be motivated enough to arise and to be better. I need to say this also. Motivation is also internal, as we have talked about. I do not need to borrow motivation from someone. You will not pick someone's motivation and wear like the way you wear a dress. Motivation is internal. You have what it takes within you. All you need is just someone like me who will tell you, you know what, let's do this together. Because I also have things that I want to achieve. One, concerning the channel, and the different things I need to do also on a personal level, that I will walk the journey with you. I want us to be accountable to one another. I accountable to you, and you accountable to yourself, because I will not be there to be accountable with you, but we can walk the journey together. So thank you so much for staying tuned. My name is Ndung'u. Until next time, bye bye.